going to almost die, but he's not going to die. And then the other main character is going to end up dying after they write a movie about it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then some asshole on the internet's going to say my daughter's ugly and fat. And
and then you're going to say,
and then to make them feel bad, I'm going to have a mental breakdown and stop smoking pot and go into the thing. And then bitch about that online, how, I don't smoke pot anymore, and I was in a mental asylum for a month, so you can't make fun of me. Oh, and my mom almost died, but she made it out of the hospital on her birthday. I don't know if you follow his social media, but that was all going on right now. I really like Kevin Smith. I love Kevin Smith. I was a Kevin Smith fan, and then he made bad movies. So fuck him.
So that's a great segue. Good job. Good job. Now we're going to do bracket of... yeah, welcome back, everybody. We're going to do our bracket.
That's why I'm the best member of the Brigade.
Bracket of bad movies this time. So we did music. We've done video games. Let's do movies. Now that we're all here together, because Richie somehow didn't die, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I tried. I really did.
I'm very happy you didn't die, bud.
Yeah, that would have fucked up our bracket.
You could have just gone back through if you prepared, you could go back through the old ones and just pull me making all the Kevin Smith ones, just put that on my bracket. You had enough stuff. People wouldn't have known.
Johnny Bench and Chupacabras.
Yeah.
The Richie soundboard. We just keep this going for years. Johnny Bench.
Chupacabra. Kevin Smith sucks.
Oh,
At least he killed himself.
Yep, Ricky's back.
Oh my god. All right. All right, who wants to kick us off here with movies? Anyone?
Well, I think since Richie's back, he should go first.
That's a good point. I like that.
Except for he's currently dying in his little window down there.
Yeah, I'm still dying. Yeah. I took a drink when I just started laughing, and it's like, I hope if I do die, I die now while on live.
Would we get or lose listeners if we had Richie die on the air?
Only if you made a movie about the Noise Brigade podcast, and like in the movie, you die or you don't die, and then Tom dies because he's the good one. And
well, clearly you'd be the Kevin Smith of that movie.
So I think if I'm starting out, and we are going to start, I do see that there's a Kevin Smith movie on my list. And it does happen to be one where two people have heart attacks, and you're supposed to feel sad for no reason whatsoever because there's no emotional buy-in at that point of the movie. So that would be Clerks 3. Clerks 3 would be my list of... it's definitely the worst movie I saw this year. And by far, I can't think of anything worse than that I saw. I sat through the whole thing. The one before that one was probably worse, but this was a Clerks movie, which makes it worse otherwise.
Clerks 3 came out, didn't it?
Whatever. Still sucked.
But you saw this year, though.
Yeah.
It's all the scissor messing with his head.
Yes. Time doesn't matter. Time's an illusion.
Thank you. Have you seen Clerks 3?
I think so. It's one of those I watched. I don't really remember.
I saw it in the theater.
I don't know.
I bought the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I watched it on digital. I don't recall if I bought the digital or rented it, though.
I bootlegged it. I totally downloaded it illegally, so Kevin Smith didn't get any more of my fucking money. But I gave Randall money at the convention, so I figure it's okay.
I don't know. Well, you're allowed to have that one.
Did you get a handy out?
I would still ask for my ticket. Anyways, I was making other jokes while you're talking. Sorry.
Oh, I said, did you get a handy out of it at least?
No handy or anything. That was terrible. No redeeming qualities whatsoever. I think it was even worse than that cartoon where they had Neil Gaiman as their butler for some reason. And I know I'm not on scissor when I say that. It was that it wasn't even called Blunt Man and Chronic. Wasn't it like Jay and Silent Bob super groovy cartoon movie? Yeah.
That was fucking
less than Flash animation.
Yeah, that was really bad. I'll admit that with you.
When you make 4 good movies in the 90s, you can really get that fan base to pay for anything until you die.
Hey, maybe this figured out his whole point.
Yeah.
Maybe they figured out when you die, they'll start making good movies.
I liked Red State. Red State was good.
Red State was really good. I haven't seen Walrus or any of that shit yet.
Tusk wasn't.
They're
For
tough.
everything else he did, Tusk wasn't as bad as you would have expected going into it. And I think mostly that was the main character. His name Michael Parks. Is that who it was? He was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Red State.
He was also in that vampire movie that the other guy did. Why the fuck can't I think of it? It was Sex Machine. It's Tom Savini and George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
Pussy.
Fuck, what the fuck was that called?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
So talking about all this, because Clerks 3 was just like I said, it was Kevin Smith doing his life story in Clerks, very meta, except he wasn't Kevin Smith. He was doing it with the Randall character. They killed Dante for no reason whatsoever other than he wants you to be sad. And they leave it open where it could go on with Randall and the other guy's character.
Elias.
Yeah.
I think the reason they killed Dante was to end the series. I think that's all right. This is the end of Clerks.
Oh no, we're getting.
And also, I think it was symbolic because I think it was symbolic of maybe it was a way of thinking. I think Dante and Randall are both Kevin Smith, and it was just a version of him that died when Dante died.
No, first of all, Kevin Smith can't go deep, so there is no deepness to this. Don't look into any kind of things. It was all on the.
So is he like an elevator button?
Yeah.
All right.
Who's next?
I did was it Elias that had the goth thing going on, or was it?
Yeah.
That part was semi-entertaining.
All right, I'm going. This movie came out in college, and me and my buddies were excited to see it. And it turned out to be a shit show. We basically did Mystery Theater 3000 to the movie during it. And the movie was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Just the first one was good. And we were excited to see the second one. And all of a sudden we see a guy, and he's got his skull or the horns. But it moved during the movie, and it was basically a unicorn. So we were yelling out unicorn in the middle of the theater. I wish I still had the $4 I paid for that movie back.
You know what? I remember seeing the first one in the theater, and I don't think because that Annihilation came out
98, 99?
Yeah. I don't recall ever seeing that one.
Yeah, I feel like I did see it at one point, but as a defense mechanism,
just put out your
brain just shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember.
And I know on a lot of really bad movie lists, that one tends to pop up from time to time.
Oh, it was awful.
I've never seen it, but maybe a couple clips or something. It's just is there a beach scene or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really, really bad.
Yeah,
and me and my one buddy, we'll just yell out or text each other unicorn, and we know what the fuck we're talking about.
Well, I just found out it was in the first one. Wasn't Raiden played by Christopher Lambert?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
Yeah, in this one, he was played by Dexter's dad and the evil warrior guy in the Warriors. I just had it up now. I forgot. James Remar. So they didn't get anybody back from the first movie.
No.
Well, at least they didn't get him back.
And it was no redeeming qualities to that movie whatsoever. Other than the fact that we left the theater just laughing because it was so bad. So, especially in college when you didn't have much money and you're like, all right, you're going to see a good movie. And then you just get completely crushed.
You got something out of it.
Did you get a handy?
I did have a hole cut in the popcorn box, so
just put the extra butter in there, bud.
It even counts if it was
so much butter.
It's a 3.6 on IMDb, so I don't know. There must be some little fan base for it. I don't know.
That's what we should do while we're doing these. We should have the IMDb rating.
Yeah. So, Mortal Kombat Annihilation's a 3.6. Anyone want to take a guess what Clerks 3 IMDb is? Rating?
I'm going to say it's a 5.
2.
Be realistic, Rich.
It's got to be at least a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, Bink's on the money. 6.3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, it's not that bad a fucking movie.
No, yeah, we didn't say what you thought of it, Rich. We're thinking the general consensus.
What's Clerks? First one.
Oh, it's like an 8 something.
Oh yeah, it'd be
There you go.
8.5, 8.
Oh, it's a huge one. Yeah. Yeah. So Clerks is a
Going back to Mortal Kombat real quick.
7.7.
The
you
sequel to the one that just came out not too long ago. It didn't just came out. It came out a while ago now, I think. But anyway, they're bringing Carl Urban in to play Johnny Cage.
Yeah, like the one they redid just a couple of years ago. That was good, but Annihilation was shit.
The only problem with the one they just did is they brought in a new character just to be like an audience surrogate.
Yeah,
We got to meet the demographics.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 95 version, the original Mortal Kombat, got a 5.8 on IMDb. So it was a 3.6, a steep drop. And really anything under a 5 on IMDb is pretty much generally a trash movie. You know, but Clerks, the original was 7.7. Clerks 2 was 7.3. Clerks 3 is a 6.3. I don't know that it's that high. I'd say it's more of a 6. But anyway, whatever. So, all right, Bob, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. And I've been looking up because I knew that the IMDb ratings on most of mine were probably going to be fairly high based on the movies, except for this one. But I'm actually surprised that the IMDb rating on this one is as high as it is. It's An American Carol. So the premise, I was kind of okay with. I was concerned about it, but I was like, all right, this could hold some promise. And it's basically making fun of Michael Moore, and it's the synopsis is an anti-American filmmaker who's out to abolish the 4th of July holiday is visited by 3 ghosts who try to change his perception of the country. So right there, once I read the synopsis, my hopes for it being any kind of good goes down. And then I got drugged to the theater to see it because I had introduced, when I moved down here, I had introduced a couple friends to Harold and Kumar. We went and saw Harold and Kumar, the second one, the Escape from Guantanamo Bay. I didn't realize quite how super conservative they were. And they were super, super, super fucking offended by the fact that they put George W. Bush in that movie and had him as anything but like this super intelligent, super smart guy. And so they were like, okay, all right, well, we're going to drag you to this fucking movie. So they brought me to this movie, and it was basically every lazy, low-hanging fruit, like demonize liberals joke that you could think of, all crammed into one movie and super poorly told. Like, there's ways to make jokes
Fox
about
News.
Almost, it was like distilled Fox News and that Newsmax or whatever the fuck Trump came up with. You know, both sides have their extremes, and anytime you go to an extreme, it's wrong. But this was the extreme far right, and it was just to the point of parody, where it was like they're trying to make fun of liberals, but at the same time, they're doing the whole, well, if you let a gay person live in your neighborhood, then soon all your kids are going to be gay, and they're going to be butt-fucking each other. And clearly that's not the case.
Did you see the lead actor in that was Kevin Farley?
Yes. It should have been clue number one that it was going to be a piece of shit.
Yeah, there's been different movies that are made like that through the years that are just like,
Kevin Sorbo.
I don't know. They almost become parodies of themselves.
James Woods.
Like they're just that bad. But yeah, for reference, that's a 4.0 on IMDb, but I'm about to beat you.
John Voight.
Because I'm going to pick a movie that's got a 3.4.
Ooh.
Good old Dumb and Dumberer.
Oh.
Which might, there's no way that this doesn't get out of the first round on the bracket because it's one of the worst movies that's ever been made. You guys have seen this, haven't you?
That movie's so bad it made my heart piss its pants.
Rich, you've never seen Dumb and Dumberer? Don't waste your time. Big, have you ever seen Dumb and Dumberer?
That's when they were young, right?
Yeah, it came out about 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, and what's even worse about it is one of those, like, it goes back to like conversations we had with movies and video games, music and video games, like where you're so excited for like the next game or the next album or whatever, and it's just this massive letdown. So it makes it even worse. So you had Dumb and Dumber come out in '94. So about 10 years later, you have this prequel, I guess. And wow, what a train wreck of a movie! Oh, it's so bad. It's not funny. I've never rewatched it, and I have absolutely no intention to. And I'm glad to see that most of the people that have rated it on IMDb tend to agree with me because, yeah, so far that's the lowest movie we've talked about. That's lower than Mortal Kombat Annihilation, by the way, and that's typically on a lot of really bad movie lists. So,
Thought I had a winner there.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that clears up round one. So Rich, back to you.
Okay. I was just checking my list against some other lists that were there. And I think for this pick, it's definitely better than Dumb and Dumberer or scored higher probably. But I'm going to go with The Force Awakens. And I think all of the new Star Wars movies haven't, the new numbered Star Wars movies haven't been that great. But The Force Awakens, we talked about it before. We're going back and watching The Phantom Menace in high school. You came out of it the first time really excited. This was fantastic. And then later on, you realized that it's probably not
Came out of a different movie than I did.
Okay. Yeah, but I was
Watched a 3-hour Senate meeting.
Yeah. And then Force Awakens,
Taking notes.
anyway, I watched in the theater again. And as I'm watching, like, well, this looks really good. But this is almost a beat-for-beat remake of the first Star Wars. Like, I felt that they didn't add anything to it. I didn't see anything original. And I kind of like, it wasn't horrible compared to everything else, but it wasn't good. Like, I was just disappointed. And I just remember feeling disappointment.
My biggest complaint was they should have had the same director for all three because the story was so disjointed between, 1, 2, and 3 of the new. I think
they were actually making changes while it was going on. Like, well, this didn't go well, so let's make this change. This didn't go well. Well, this didn't go well at all, so now we got to wipe all this and we got to start over from here. I don't know if they had an idea going into it and then scrapped it and went somewhere else, or if they just, no, you're right. It was a totally disjointed thing. I remember thinking, Rey's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, she was naked in some BBC thing once. And that was the two best takeaways I had from coming out of Force Awakens.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned Phantom Menace, and we'll probably circle back to that one, as we go down this list here, especially for me. But that was the one that left me not excited for anything. So I certainly have not seen anything really beyond that one. So I can say that I agree with you on this choice, only because of that movie. So I can imagine them making not a good one. But again, I've never seen it and have no frame of reference really. So
my only thing is I feel like there are worse movies. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're like, if we're trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel here. But again, it's subjective, it's personal.
All right, Dink, I think we're on you, man.
You almost make me want to change and say Phantom Menace now.
Oh, Tom's got that, I think.
Yeah, you can steal it. I have another one, so.
I don't know how to categorize this because it's multiple movies. It's Hallmark Christmas Channel movies.
I like it.
I don't know any of the titles, but there's all the same story, and it's all pretty much the same characters. I hate them all. And, if you're married, you're forced to watch one, a Christmas season, and hopefully you get something out of it, but usually you don't. And then...
Hey, see that, Rich? We're lucking out not being married, not having to watch it.
See, you know what the best part about that is, though? And those things start airing in, like, June.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you get the whole season.
By the way, female listeners, that was actually a subtle hint. You can send us your info. Richie and I are single. So,
if they've listened to this podcast, there's no fucking way we're getting any emails or texts or anything. If these are that movies where, like, I'm a young woman who's making my way up in the corporate world, and I'm gonna work through Christmas because I'm corporate-y, and then she meets some wacky manic pixie boy and falls in love or something and learns the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, so I couldn't tell you one title of any of those movies, but I'm sure it's like Christmas for Home or Three Christmases or
Three Christmases and a
boy
funeral.
gets jerked off behind a Denny's. I don't know. Whatever.
Let's see.
Just a
There's
whole genre. So
oh wait,
Three
there's
Christmases and a Kwanzaa.
okay. You ready for some titles on these? There's a gingerbread romance.
Yep, perfect.
That's one. Santa Switch.
Oh,
That'd be a porno.
That's kinky.
Battle of the Bulbs. Yeah, no, I don't even know if that's the real name. Battle of the Bulbs. It looks like it has Daniel Stern in it.
I was wondering if any of these had Kirk Cameron.
No, that's the real title, Battle of the Bulbs, and it has Daniel Stern. So he went from like Home Alone, like all-time greatest type Christmas movies, to Battle of the Bulbs, not 20 years later.
Poor Daniel Stern.
He tried.
He did. He really did.
So I consider that all one movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it is. It's. You're absolutely right. It's the same fucking movie with different titles and like a couple different things in the background. But
yeah, no, I agree. They're all, and you know what's funny? It's the Christmas movies. It's movies in general on that channel, and it's movies in general on that same plane. They're all the same. Like they're very stale. There's no, I don't know. Do you guys remember like watching the made for TV movies that would come on like Sunday nights on network television? Sometimes they were okay. They were at least watchable. Like I can't really remember anything about them, but they were at least, storyline driven, or they were based on a true story or something. This is like the same thing, but without a story. It's just, I don't know how they do it. They just churn out junk over and over and over again.
They're always going back to their hometown and meeting their high school sweetheart they haven't seen in 20 years or whatever. It's just the same crap.
yeah.
All right, Bobo.
I've got such a list of shit here. The problem is some of these movies, the only thing I remember about them is that they were absolute dog shit and I hated them. And I don't remember really anything about the movie aside from that dog shit. I'm going to say, yes, I'll go with The Talented Mr. Ripley. I saw this with a group of people from our high school, and I don't remember if it was pre or post graduation, but we all went, and it was so fucking bad that by like in the first half an hour of the movie, we were throwing shit at the screen. And these were like, I went with the good kids, like so. I was the one fucking, corrupting them, and. They were like, it was just terrible, man. It was so fucking bad. And it's starring Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow. And there's part of the problem there. Is
I was gonna say that's all you needed to say.
She's fucking god awful. He needs to go shove more emerald fucking eggs up her butthole or whatever. But it was really bad. It was really, really bad.
This movie sounds horrible. I mean, it was a box office success with 128 million worldwide and nominated for 5 Academy Awards.
7.4 rating on IMDb.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's just, it was the most boring fucking movie of all time, and it was so.
It sounds like the problem here might be you, Bob.
No, it was like everything was so telegraphed. You knew it from the fucking start. It was really fucking bad. It seemed like it was almost like
a Hallmark channel where you knew the ending.
No, well that, yeah. But no, it was almost like they tried to remake The Great Gatsby, but took it out of the Roaring Twenties and made it like this extra bullshit. And it just sucked, man.
So what you're saying is you don't want the deluxe Blu-ray for Christmas?
I mean, it depends. Are we going to be driving around throwing shit at people from the car?
I was just buying in the original novel right now from 1956.
And then speeding. Rich, you weren't with us that day.
And just 4 sequels.
Fuck that.
All
you weren't with us that day, but we were on Tomlin Station Road, and I threw a copy of a Reliant K CD out the window and accidentally hit some dude that was standing on the side of the road. He hopped in his truck and chased us down Tomlin Station Road. And I turned on the East Wolford and busted down that road and then shut off the lights when we got around the curve and then pulled into your neighbor's driveway and up to your house. And the guy drove by. And then we left once we were clear.
Reliant Cade.
But yeah, so Tom, you've been to the house in Mickleton that Richie lived in, and you don't know if you knew it or not.
Yeah, I do remember the.
This was actually made before in 1960, but it was called Purple Noon.
I think you're gonna say Purple Nurple. I was saying, get the fuck out. But that would have been it was a terrible movie. It was a terrible fucking movie.
All right, I'm gonna go with the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot, or whatever you want to call that.
Is that with the chicks?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as bad as Mr. Ripley, but
and I think here's the thing with that one. If the original Ghostbusters series didn't exist in any form or fashion, I would not have thought about this movie otherwise. Wouldn't have made any list. It would have just been, whatever. They catch ghosts and make jokes, whatever. But it was just a awful attempt at a reboot. It's not funny. It's just, and that's why Ghostbusters Afterlife was made, to completely skip over the fact that was even made. So yeah. In fact, I'm pretty certain that movie was given away for free, much like a U2 album. So
they tried to call it, they renamed it Answer the Call, I guess, when it came out on video. It wasn't called that when it was first in theaters. No.
Yeah, they tried to rebrand.
Yeah.
It didn't work. No. They couldn't even get who was the guy that did the Girls Gone Wild? They should have gotten that guy. They might have made a few dollars. Just
he was one of the 9 million people married to Pamela Anderson.
They should have thrown the girl on there and might have made a few more bucks. I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't know. That's not a good one. So, all right, Rich, we're gonna slide back to you.
That got so much shit too. A lot of people are just bad mouthing it because it's an all woman cast. Like, no, it's just not funny movie.
Just not a good movie. Yeah, it had nothing to do with it. Yeah, because I don't care what you are, male, female, animal, vegetable, mineral. There's been plenty of movies that I've seen of different, of all sorts of different folks that I just have not found funny, or I've found that were hysterical, and yeah, that was just not one of them. So, well.
I'm going to. We get 4 picks, right? So we get another pick after this.
Yep.
Because there's definitely one I want to talk about, but other people have it on the thing. So I'm going to wait to see if somebody pulls that one out. And I'm going to go with. There's so many good options. I'm going to go with the Hobbit live action trilogy. I'm going to pick all 3 movies because when you take the shortest book from this guy's series, that was a kid's book for this point of view that he wrote, and you turn it into the big 6-hour long sweeping shitty movie that was filmed like I went to the theater with a friend and saw that in the 60 hertz or I forget exactly what they called it, but they filmed that where like it was higher than 24 frames a second in the theater, so it looked horrible, like especially for a fantasy film. That's not how you want to watch it. And I just remember the first movie being horrible. The second movie, well, we at least had the dragon in it, so this is good. And then I don't even know if I bothered watching the third one. And The Hobbit is one of my favorite books of all time. So I was really like when the 1970s Rankin Bass animation thing is better than your 6-hour long movie series, there's a problem.
I never saw the new Hobbit ones. I saw the Lord of the Rings, but I was a big, same like you, Rich, big fan of the Hobbit in the book. But I remember seeing the Rankin Bass too. But the new stuff wasn't, and I guess it was because like even though I really enjoyed watching the Lord of the Rings through once, I don't know that I had that much stake in going to actually do the same thing to myself for the Hobbit.
I recently watched. I'm going to watch through all of them, but I watched the Fellowship of the Rings in 4K, 9-hour cut, whatever the fuck they call that thing. And if you're watching in your own house over a period of days, it's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to the Two Towers, but this I will never watch again. The Desolation of Smaug, the second one in the series, you have Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug, and it's good. But again, it doesn't need to be 2 hours long. The cast is fantastic. Was it Peter Jackson? No, it wasn't Peter Jackson. It was the other guy that did this, right? The Guillermo
del Toro.
Yeah, he was usually pretty good. It's just, I think the studio fucked with it too much. Like, here, we need this. This is what we need. We need a franchise out of this small.
No, Peter Jackson
Peter Jackson?
did The Hobbit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it was going back to disappointing, and they put stuff in there that wasn't in the book, and it's just not good.
Yeah, it was Unexpected Journey came out in 12, Desolation of Smaug in 13, and Battle of the Five Armies in 14. It looks like it was all Peter Jackson movies, but the screenplays were by Del Toro. So
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know if you need a quick synopsis of how Lord of the Rings goes. Just watch Randall's bit in Clerks 2, and you're all good.
Yes.
Yeah. Explains it all.
But
Randall
the Hobbit, though, like I said, it was like he wrote this to be a kids series, and it's still pretty. He still invents his languages and stuff because Tolkien was weird. But at least it was good. It was just we have these 12, dwarves. We need another guy. No, I think we have 13. We need another guy, so we don't have 13. Forget how it works out. But he joins the things and he goes on his adventure. And there's wizards, there's orcs, there's goblins, there's trolls, and there's a dragon. That's all you need. Yeah.
One ring to rule them all.
Is that fucking safety wire? What is that?
It's for a 3D pen.
Oh,
Cock ring.
Well, I was trying to get that one out for that.
Is Tom's name Tunican?
It's what do they call that? The force perspective.
What's the sticker line? It's like around. Think about it.
Yeah. How about I get you a spoon so you can eat my ass?
I mentioned I did just see Jeff Anderson, where I got sick, and probably from Jeff Anderson. He wrote on my Clerks figure that there's only one trilogy, and it's not of the Rings.
He said there's only one return, and it's not of the king.
Yeah.
It's of the Jedi.
All right. Bink.
I'm gonna go with Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Ooh.
A lot of excitement. The first 3 movies were amazing. Then there was that 15-20 year gap. I was like, let's try to make some money. And it made money, but I just did not like, I don't know, just the ending just killed it for me. I just thought it was just awful. A premise of, I don't know. Could just be me, but I just did not like the whole thing at all.
That's one with Shia LaBeouf, isn't it?
Yeah. James Bond Jr. Not James Bond Jr.
LaBeouf.
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
Henry Jones Jr.
That was a horrible movie.
Yeah.
The dog.
Because there was excitement. That's why, the new one, I'm not excited about it, but I'm gonna go see it, I guess.
He's 80.
Yeah.
He's older than the old Indiana Jones in the young Indiana Jones things.
But they CGI a lot of him in, kind of like Arnold in the most recent Terminator.
You're going to have to, because he's 80.
So what are you trying to say?
Saying that he's practically dead. This is where that. Oh, Jesus Christ! If I was more with it, what was that movie where the guy dies and they move his body around to make Weekend at Bernie's? Weekend at Bernie's now. We're gonna have dead celebrities do their stuff because they can CGI them.
Dude, they should just do everything Weekend at Bernie's style. It'd make every movie that much better.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I don't think anyone understands how critically important those movies are.
It would make every movie better, but it would make porn super awkward.
My mom every night I call him Dad. Going back to a good Clerks movie.
Oh man.
Marionetteporn.com.
I remember when everyone was bitching about the aliens and that never bothered me because there was always some kind of fantastical thing in the Indiana Jones movies. But yeah, Shia LaBeouf is just, I don't know why the world fell in love with him for as long as they did.
No, I wasn't a fan.
Scene with him and the fucking monkeys. I wanted to get up and walk the fuck out of the theater.
It was still better than any of the Transformer movies he was in.
I like the first Transformers movie.
Yeah, the first one was good.
First
Only when she was bending over.
I won't say good. I'll say okay, but it was still.
No, it had an amazing ass.
Watchable.
It was good.
Yeah, it was watchable. Like I could sit down if I was bored one day and that was on TV. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I'll watch the first Transformers movie.
They jobbed out John Turturro in that though, and I don't like that. They turned his like his character.
Well, they fucking listen. No, hold on.
Megan Fox. That's all I gotta say.
Okay,
that's the only good thing. Yeah.
Hold on. Also, it technically falls under the category of a horror movie. You know why? Because the black guy died first. They killed Jazz first.
Shia LaBeouf is banging Megan Fox, so there it just tells you how bad the.
Yeah, that's how unrealistic it was. Yeah. The fucking cars from space. I totally bought that. Shia LaBeouf banging Megan Fox. No,
that's the minute the suspension of disbelief went right out the window.
Yep.
Is it the first one that John Turturro gets peed on by a robot too, or is that one of the other ones?
That's the second one, isn't it?
The worst one is the one that. And how did they get Anthony Hopkins to come in?
Oh yeah, the last night.
Anthony Hopkins. And yeah.
I don't know, dude. No, I think the worst one might be the one where the robot has balls.
That was
the robot has balls,
yeah.
And that's how they beat it. Is they hit it in the balls. And then the one robot is super old. So when he transforms, he has a cane.
I'm so glad I didn't watch any of this.
Oh, man. I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are bioorganic, so there could be
I like the Fast and Furious. I'm glad I stopped after the first one.
The cane was a part of it, and it just came off. The cane was his fucking it was Jetfire, so they ruined one of my favorite Transformers. They turned him into a full-on bad guy. And not only that, but they made his landing gear turn into a fucking cane. And he had a beard.
They stole him from Gundam anyway. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
All right, so Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. That conversation went right to Transformers. Thanks a lot.
Did we get the IMDb score?
The Shia LaBeouf.
LaBeouf. All right. I added two to my list because I started looking at the IMDb scores of the movies that I had on my list, and they're good.
You realized
good movies.
You realized the problem was you.
Apparently, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. So we're gonna go with.
We've already done songs.
We're gonna go with the movie that on Rotten Tomatoes got a 0. And on IMDb has a 3.6. I really think we should be using Rotten Tomatoes because Rotten Tomatoes is a lot more harsh on these fuckers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think that's more realistic.
But so this movie got a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's Ballistic X versus Sever.
I 100% agree because I saw this junk in the theater too.
I think we saw it together, dude.
Most likely, yeah.
What movie?
It's Ballistic X versus Sever. It's got is that Antonio Banderas?
Antonio Banderas versus Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu.
I'm glad I've never seen that shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't waste your time. It didn't that predate Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was it's not a good movie at all.
See now, okay, this makes a lot more sense. Now that I'm looking on Rotten Tomatoes, looking at some of these movies, I probably could have left them in there because the ratings for the by the critics are super high, but the audience scores are low. So now I feel better about some of my choices on here. But anyway, I'm going with Ballistic X versus Sever. It was a movie where nothing fucking happens.
Yeah, no, I concur. I'm going to go with the one we've already mentioned. I'm going with Star Wars Episode 1. So it'll be our second Star Wars entry into this bracket. I was never a huge Star Wars fan, but I had watched and rewatched routinely the original trilogy. Big fan of Spaceballs. So like I really got a lot of the, into the original stuff. So being high school age, super excited for Phantom Menace, I was ready to go. And I walked out hating the series and hating everything so much that I almost vowed to never watch anything ever again. And I've basically held true to that for a quarter of a century. So.
What year did Phantom Menace come out?
Phantom Menace came out in 99.
Okay.
So I've held true to my guns. I don't know that I've watched anything at all other than maybe clips here and there since then, because it pissed me off so much. Just I don't know. It's not a good movie, and we can go all day long about Jar Jar and all that crap that everyone hated in the first place. But yeah, you have some cool scenes in that flick, but
yeah, 2 hour Senate thing was enough to bore the shit out of me. The pod racing at the end was cool though, but
yeah.
But other than that, I hated that movie, and I was like, "This sucks" for the start of the new trilogy, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm like, "This is just absolute shit."
Yeah, I was just no.
Because I remember seeing, Return of the Jedi in the theaters, and so my next experience was Phantom Menace in the theaters. I mean, that's just
it's almost not right.
No, not at all.
No.
But the pod races were kind of cool.
And I said that the pod races were kind of cool, but the 3 hours before that sucked.
Because another Kevin Smith reference.
Yeah, no, just not good. I think the next Star related anything I even saw was the Chris Pine Star Trek in the at the Franklin Institute. That was the old
Pine Star Trek.
Yeah, I did too. It was pretty good, but the Star Wars stuff for me, I was just that lost me, and and my son showed interest into like Lego Star Wars and things like that. So, I've started to at least
There's
kind of
supposed to be that came out last year that Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga made like a pile of people's best game of the year list. It's on sale right now on the Switch, like $39 for the everything collection, like all the DLC.
That's good.
If not a certain Legend of Zelda game, I would have been playing it probably, but I bought Legend of Zelda instead.
How many dicks have you made in Tears of the Kingdom so far?
I've only played for 2 hours because I was sick, so I haven't made a lot of dicks yet.
So that means 410.
All over Hyrule, or wherever the hell I'm supposed to be.
He's like that's all I'm doing.
Yes.
As soon as I get off,
arrows pointing my way where I'm going. No,
he's like, that's why I was late to recording, and as soon as I get off here, that's exactly what I'm going to go do next.
I'm currently building a dick that spans the map.
With fans attached to it, because
our entire next episode is going to be just about that.
It's just going to be called Dickisode.
All right. All right, so we've all done 3. Rich, we're back to you for the 4th one.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Batman v Superman for my final pick, and I'm gonna say I really liked 300. The Dawn of the Dead remake wasn't terrible. Sucker Punch was relatively enjoyable, and I liked watching it. So I have no problem with Zack Snyder. Before going into this, Man of Steel wasn't good. But I didn't realize how bad it was going to get until I started watching Batman v Superman, where, I had so much hope. Like, they're doing Dark Knight Returns. This is going to be good. They got Batman in his armor. They got Superman. Like, going to be dark and gritty. Like, it ends with Martha. It was just bad. I mean, they kill off Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. You don't even realize that's who it is unless you're like really paying attention. Like, we killed this random guy who's a major character, and then they got him destroying the city, and then it's just wow. And I saw Justice League on other people's lists too, and Justice League wasn't good, but it was just a little bit better than Batman v Superman.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed Justice League more than Batman v Superman. But yeah.
Why did you say that name?
Yeah. No, dude, I had such high hopes for that movie too. Like, I was so stoked for that. And the same reason. Go to Dark Knight. Fucking, let's go. And it was so bad. It wasn't so bad. It was so disappointing.
There's an animated Dark Knight Returns with Peter Weller doing the voice of Batman. That's worth watching.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, RoboCop?
So RoboCop himself, yep.
Cool.
Nice.
It was a two-parter, too, so it's like 3 hours long when you watch all of them together.
Very sweet.
Yeah. All right. So
although,
Richard...
wait, before real quick, what this did give us, though, was that wonderful 9-hour Justice League cut on HBO, which starts out with, this film has been presented in 4:3 ratio for the artistic vision of Zack Snyder. Yes, so.
Yeah.
Be my background in baseball.
All right. I'm going to go with a cheerleading movie called Just Bring It.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
It's already been brought.
Exactly. This was one of those late night, just sitting there watching TV and come on and
turn off the sound, put on some music, and put some hand down your pants.
Now, they were 20-year-old girls dressed as like high school, so it was kind of weird. It was some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's one of those where it's like, if I ever see it again, I kind of watch it because it's so bad that it makes me laugh. And you know, one of the lines in there is like, this is a cheerocracy. I don't know why, but I still remember that to this day, and it just cracks me up.
Cheercatorship.
Not another teen movie makes a great reference to that movie.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So
I will cheer whatever I cheer want.
And they've made sequels, which I'm sure they're even worse than the first. But the first one, it just entertaining. It just makes me laugh. It's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm never going to turn down something that's got Eliza Dushku and what the fuck is her name?
Kirsten Dunst.
Mm-hmm.
Never going to turn that down because I don't mind seeing them jump around.
Yeah, this is the line in the Not Another Teen Movie. This isn't a cheerocracy. I am the cheer-tater. I make the cheer decisions. I deal the cheer consequences. If there are no cheer options, we'll cheer you. So we brought it.
We just brought it.
Bob. All right. I'm going to go with movie 43. So have you guys ever heard of this?
Is that the one with the ball? Yeah. I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. Yeah, Hugh Jackman is in it. So listen to, I'm going to read off some of the cast here, okay? Elizabeth Banks, Kristen Bell, Halle Berry, Leslie Bibb, Kate Bosworth, Gerard Butler, Bobby Cannavale, Common, Kieran Culkin, Josh Duhamel, Anna Faris, Richard Gere, John Hodgman, Terrence Howard, Hugh Jackman, Greg Kinnear, Johnny Knoxville, Justin Long, Stephen Merchant, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and then directors Stephen Brill, Peter Farley, Will Graham, Steve Card, Griffin Dunne, Elizabeth Banks, Brett Ratner, James Gunn, just to name a few. This cast and crew brought this movie into the world. It's 12 like shorts, and it's goddamn fucking awful.
Is it all the ones that revolve around like New Year's?
No. This is it's all different shit, man. Like Richie was saying, the one skit has Hugh Jackman playing a guy with balls on his chin. And that's the whole gag. Like he goes on dates with like blind dates with people, and he has balls on his chin. It's almost like they made up like punked ideas, but scripted them and then filmed them.
It's supposed to be a series of interconnected short films and sketches, getting different scenes and scenarios about a washed-up producer as he pitches insane story ideas, featuring some of the biggest stars in Hollywood.
Yeah, this gets a
pitches.
Yeah, this gets a 4% on the critic score for Rotten Tomatoes and a 24% for audience. So it's bad both ways.
Yeah.
Is it trying to be like a Kentucky Fried Movie type thing?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of like it's almost like it's trying to be like Kids in the Hall,
Mhm.
but a movie just random ass sketches. So like random ass Kids in the Hall sketches, but unfunny.
Yeah, it's a shame too because there's a lot of people in that I like.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented
Yeah.
people. But
Yeah,
it was fucking horrible.
that's because I've seen the. It's funny. I just looked it up and the cover like sticks in your head. It's like the bikini like type cover. And I remember seeing that before many a times on Netflix or whatever service. I was like, I might check this out, and I'm kind of glad I didn't now.
Yeah, no, don't.
I kind of want to.
It's kind
I
of
mean, watch it, but then when you're done, don't blame me for the wasting of your time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're definitely the first person I'm texting. Thanks a lot, Bob.
Send you a picture of my asshole.
Never get those 2 hours back.
You know what's funny? Speaking of that, that's going to lead on a great segue into my last pick of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Send you a picture of my chocolate factory.
Yeah,
Richard might be a little irritated right now.
Oh, nice, good. I got you stirred.
Scissors kicking in.
See, and here's the thing. I love Johnny Depp as in many different movies. And this is going to be a personal one for me because I loved Willy Wonka and I love Willy Wonka so much. The only Willy Wonka is Gene Wilder, and God forbid they ever try to remake that movie, and they did. And I watched it, and I am sad that I did because I kind of wish it never existed.
The Oompa Loompas are awful.
Yeah.
There's better. Deep Roy.
Wee Man's a better Oompa Loompa than.
Yeah.
Deep Roy's just fucking creepy in all his permutations.
He's also really old in that too. Like if you think he was like the guy that rode on the snail in Neverending Story in like 1980 something.
Yeah, that was a mid-'80s movie. No,
they did give us Christopher Lee as his dad, which I like Christopher Lee, so we'll let that one slide a little bit. But you're right, the rest of it sucks. Yes, I agree.
I'm just not.
It was one of those movies that didn't need a remake.
Exactly. It's almost like, and it kind of, I guess that kind of goes with my theme. That's the reason why I brought up Ghostbusters. And, I've seen reports of them potentially retooling Back to the Future, and God forbid that ever happens. There was no need to make this movie. Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Gene Wilder is just an otherworldly actor to me. Yeah, it is. And, it's really hard to me. It's like, you know what? I'm going to remake Jaws. I'm going to remake.
That's why Jaws 3 sucks. That could have been on anybody's list. Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised none of us mentioned a random Jaws movie. But you have like iconic movies like that. Brinky brought it up, even though it's not a remake, but like the later sequel of an Indiana Jones movie. Like again, you have the first, three, really the first two. I give the third one credit too, but excellent movies.
Wait, whoa. Last Crusade was way better than Temple of Doom.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying. It's still, any of those three are still way better than whatever the hell Crystal Skull was.
Yes.
But you have all these iconic franchises and stuff that are being like extra sequels or being remade, and I don't know. That's kind of my thinking on all this was like, just don't do it, and I don't know. Screw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's what Rich has been doing.
Screw Charlie and his Chocolate Factory. That doesn't sound right.